back for match number 3 with Recurring Nightmare. We are up against the person that we just beat. They were playing Burn last time, and there's no real reason to expect that they'd be playing anything but Burn this time. And our hand is very well set up for basically anything. I think this is one of the better opening hands that this deck is capable of. It can cast Veteran Explorer on 1, Therapy, and flash it back off of Explorer, and then cast Bloodcast, and Therapy, and flash it back on 2. But as it stands, we're actually just going to cast Veteran Explorer on turn 1, and chump block with it. Actually, I don't know about chump blocking. I think we probably just plow Goblin Guide, and go to turn 2 with a bunch of stuff to do on our turn, and with a bunch of fully loaded therapies to clear their hand. So ideally we hit some lands. And then we plow a guide, and then untap Explorer, Therapy, flash it back, and then finish the turn with either Bloodghast or Deathrite Shaman plus Cabal Therapy again. Okay, so we're going to draw Bloodghast, which isn't great, but we didn't really want a second white source regardless, because it would have had to be a green and white source. And we are not about that. So we're going to Marsh Flats for a Bayou, since we want to be able to hard cast. Actually, excuse me. Man, I hate when I almost have to sneeze. We can just get both of our swamps. So we can get Savannah here. We don't really want to get both of our swamps, though. Fetching lands against Burn is actually a really important part of playing against them. Like, you have to be very, very thoughtful about what you're doing. So I think I actually just want all of the mana to be black, since all of our cards are black. Now you know we're naming Fire Blast. You know we're hitting twice. You know we're flashing back and naming Flame Rift. Actually, we're going to name Vortex, since this thing is just bananas. Sulfuric Vortex. And then cast this one, and I guess realistically we're just clearing their hand. Flame Rift. Cool. Well, that was, I believe, what they call a good turn. Turns out Cabal Therapy with Veteran Explorer is just filthy. Their hand was really good, though. Don't get me wrong about that. But ours was a little better. Just a little, though. So Riftbolt takes down Deathrite Shaman, and we are off to the races against Goblin Guide. With the ability to sort of use Goblin Guide as a scry one. So we reveal Cabal Therapy, we don't want that one, we shuffle it away. Bloodghast can't block, so I'm not really worried about like our opponent killing our Bloodghasts. And we get to cast He Who Hungers. And we are, you know, off to the races. So we can do some math and see that we are ahead on the race. Our opponent sees that as well and decides not to attack. That discretion is the better part of valor. And so now we can take their Goblin Guide and their land, and then rebuy our Bloodghasts. So that's cool. And now our opponent's back to empty. They Chain Lightning He Who Hungers instead of Chain Lightning us, which I'm not sure about, but I ain't arguing. I think that in this spot you have to just like race and peel. I didn't love holding Goblin Guide there. Especially like in a deck that if I peel Cabal Therapy, which you don't know whether or not it's coming because you aren't attacking with Goblin Guide, I like therapy you, I name like I don't even know what, and then I flash it back, and if I have a land, then I just get to free roll the card in your hand, assuming it's a sorcerer or a creature. So I think I might have played this game a little differently from the other side, but it largely came down to me just like trading 2 Cabal Therapies for these 4 cards. Like, if we're being really real here, that's what's going on. Also, no attacks, no blocks is fairly odd. Like, either you're racing or you're trading, but doing neither is just like, you know? So here we can entomb for Bloodghast. It has haste. So we're leaving ourselves dead to pop, but nothing else, I believe. top is Price of Progress for those of you who are less familiar with Legacy's initialisms. We don't have blue on this fetch land. That is unfortunate. Okay. And we just... yeah, that was really bad. So now we're just dead to Peeled Bolt Spike Chain Lightning. Yeah, dead to basically any peeled spell. That's really ugly. As basically a direct function of how we built our mana base. Yep. We deserved that one. Okay. So, we want these decays since they have Vortex and Pyromancer. We want Spirit just because, and we want Gaddock Teeg because of Fire Blast. Not super interested in a bunch of the clunkier stuff. 6 mana, 5/5 flying, probably not going to cut it. Therapy, obviously, just the nuts. He Who Hungers is a bit slow, and we can probably cut an Abrupt Decay and kick things off. Actually, we can probably cut the island, since that is basically a blasted landscape here. Blasted landscape without cycling. Just the worst of the worst. Cool. The rare Therapy ourselves on turn 1 is actually phenomenally correct right now. We get absolutely colded by Surgical Extraction, but when life gives you Therapy and Triple Bloodghast, if you don't run it, then I don't know. You just gotta do it sometimes. If they have Surgical, they have Surgical. I mean, good for them for boarding in Surgical in their burn deck. So, we are, as ever, racing with Bloodghast. Whew. Jeez. Is that a good draw? So, yeah, just get all these in play. One by one, get off the bus. And we're just going to put this Swords of Plowshares right next to the Goblin Guide. Right, there we go. So Bolt Us is good. Spike Us is good. I'm not going to plow this thing if he isn't going to use it. If he would rather block, then I would be thrilled to activate this fetch land and show him the meaning of pain. Also, you know we're going to name Fire Blast. You know we're going to name Fire Blast. Rift price. Okay. So we're going to take 4 damage a turn. Although, we can... Yeah, this plains is actually going to be meaningful. So we're going to cast this Tegan block with it. Gigantic forehead. Okay, so draw land, which has like no marginal value. Rift us. And Goblin Guide is now firmly on blocking duty. God, therapy ourselves for 3 blood gas just is. This card is fantastic. We aren't really getting like a nice display of what Recurring Nightmare is like, but boy howdy are we getting the Bloodghast show. Like, Sam, I fully understand why you wanted to game with that card. Jeez. Yeah, okay. 2 apiece, and that's game. Cool. Well, Cabal Therapy Bloodghast does it again. This deck very quietly just Cabal Therapy Bloodghasting people into the Stone Age. And we will snap this one off because it has a Cabal Therapy. So I can't imagine losing this game. Our opponent is mulliganing to 2. Well, that certainly weakens the efficiency of Cabal Therapy. However, I feel like we have probably already gotten our money's worth from our opponent's decisions to mulligan as much as they did. So, not afraid of Sulfuric Vortex. So, that's game. First game was very interesting. Second game, not so much. Yeah, first and second games were interesting. Third game, not so much. I'll be back in just a sec.